Hi, I'm Dr. Mel. Welcome to I Matter Brains, Heart, and Courage. This is a brief overview of this online program for educators and adults, helping children who have experienced early chronic trauma mature into resilient, healthy, and happy adults. Children who learn to engage their brains and their hearts and their courage can overcome the negative effects of early trauma. And the good news is that we adults can make a difference. We can change the course of these children's lives. In this program, you will learn about a pivotal study conducted between 1995 and 1997 that literally lit a spotlight on the serious lifelong effects of early trauma on the lives of average, middle-class Americans. Early trauma such as divorce, physical and sexual abuse, and parental incarceration were linked to serious health conditions like lung cancer, chronic heart disease, and renal failure. In the I Matter program, you will also explore the consequences of early trauma on brain development. Brain development in the early years is an explosion of activity. The brain is both building and pruning connections between nerve cells at record speed. As you can imagine, early chronic trauma does affect brain development. It causes the brainstem and the limbic system to become overly active, while the executive center takes a back seat. The problem with this is that the executive center manages behaviors important to learning, like paying attention, focusing, and engaging working memory. In practical terms, from a classroom management perspective, the reality is that children who have experienced early trauma are often well-equipped for dysregulation and ill-equipped for learning. Now, consider children who experience community violence, poverty, racism, intergenerational and historic trauma and grief, and you will begin to understand how hard it is for your students to learn. Perhaps most important, during this I Matter program, you will join others in brainstorming how best to manage early trauma in your students and how to engage in self-care so that you're up to the challenge. Thank you. Thank you for joining us in breaking the link between trauma and its awful lifelong effects.